an attendance where you have presence of your mind, you want to be here. You know that this is important because it's this Farsh Azar. It is the masjid. It's the house of Allah that gives us our identity. Our true identity, which is being a Muslim. What is being a Muslim? We all say we are mu'min. A Muslim is the one who is submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in this first khutbah, I'd like us to reflect on the saying of the Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa the slave of the dirham and dinar will be destroyed. Your children will not consider Islam to be important because you don't talk to them. There's no relationship. Their children will not be religious as well. They will consider it important. So not only your generation, but future generations will destroy us. Once a wise man entered the palace, the king's palace, and the king started to complain. Why is it that you've entered this palace and you haven't shown me the respect that other people respect when they come in to the palace? There's a certain way of greeting the king. Here, when the queen enters, we bow. This is one of the traditions. But this wise man enters the palace and he doesn't show the greeting that ordinary people will usually do. So the king complains. Why is it that you have not respected me? You know what his answer was? He says, I don't respect you because, and this is beautiful. Beautiful saying what he says. He says, that is because I am the ruler of that which you are the slave. I am the ruler of that which you are the slave. You are the slave of wealth. You are the slave of position and status. I don't consider this very important in my life. I don't consider mal and dunya very important. So in my world, you are the slave and I am the ruler. Sallallahu Muhammad. Once a mufti was called to the court of Ibn Ziyad. Ibn Ziyad calls a mufti to his court. And he says, I'd like you to give a fatwa for the killing of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And immediately, without hesitation, he said, no, I'm not going to do this. Ibn Ziyad then starts to insist, no, I'd like you to write, because obviously the Umayyads wanted to justify what happened in Karbala. So he says to this mufti, no, you have to, I insist, you must write a fatwa for the killing of Hussein ibn Ali. This mufti takes his inkwell, the ink which contains the ink he uses to write the fatwa, and he smashes this over his head. His head begins to bleed, his face is covered in blood, his clothes are covered in blood. He could not tolerate what Ibn Ziyad said. To write a fatwa, supporting the Umayyads, making the killing of Hussein ibn Ali permissible. And so he goes home. At night, Ibn Ziyad dispatches some men to this mufti's house. And they leave in his house bags of gold and treasures. The following morning, this mufti returns to the palace of Ibn Ziyad.